Boom, coming in hot, Chinch. What's going on, brother?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling the fun bag today. I'm feeling the fun bag Friday.
Man. I'm feeling the fun bag too. Let's go.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, man. We just, God, we got great guests coming up. I just keep getting so excited about what we've been doing. But fun bag, this is our day to kind of just grind like we started last week, and we had so much fun with it. And Case is so good at this stuff. We're not just baseball. We're just going to talk about news of the week, stuff going on, but we got to kick things off with baseball because I am sorry, the Edwin Diaz effect, and I grew up a Yankee fan. This dude with the troubadour, what do you call the guy? The guy with the trumpet? He did it live on the field the other night, and Diaz comes out and he's throwing 102 miles per hour. There's something about these Mets, and this guy has a lot to do with it, man.
Dude, and you know what? There's nothing better than when the Mets are winning, because those fans come out, and they come out hard, and they come out with serious passion. I remember the days playing against Piazza when they were really good back in the late 90s or 2000s. Dude, that was so fun to go to Shea, and just because the crowds were, dude, they were ready to go, Yeah. So to see it now with Buck Showalter getting these guys playing great. They just won a series from the Dodgers. I mean, these guys are legit. DeGrom's back healthy, Scherzer, that whole lineup, Alonso and Lindor and all these guys. Kana is having a great year. All these guys are having great years. But when Edwin Diaz comes out of that bullpen and that Timmy Trumpet song or whatever it is starts playing,
good.
It's incredible.
It's good,
incredible.
Dude.
I can't wait. I got to get out there to a game because I just want to feel the energy in person. Because the place goes bananas.
And that's one of the most underrated stadiums in Major League Baseball. You're in there. It's tighter. It's tighter than Yankee Stadium. Like the crowd's on you more. It's basically the same stadium as Philly, very similar built. But the other thing with Diaz, I got to give Edwin credit, man, because he's still pretty young, fairly young and he came up, shot through a cannon, had great success for a couple of years, and he goes to the Mets, and he lost it, dude. He lost it, and now I just read today in the New York Post, they're considering he is being talked about in the $100 million deal category, which are making the first ever in Major League Baseball as a closer to get that kind of money. And I'm telling you, Brody got him, and he was tied to the Cano thing, and everybody's talking about it was the worst deal ever. And now you're in New York from Seattle, and you're a young guy being told that you suck all of a sudden. And kudos to him, man, because he found it, and kudos to the coaching staff, all the pitching coaches that must have held him out. But we haven't seen anything like this probably since K-Rod came on the scene. I don't know. It's crazy.
Dude, I think this is it makes me think of when I think of this, I just think of like Mariano Rivera coming out of the pen to enter Sandman, which was incredible. Yeah. And then when Trevor Hoffman used to come out to Hell's Bells, bro. Whoa, bro. They were like, boing, at the beginning of that song. Boom, yeah.
So good.
Got me ringing Hell's Bells. You're like, holy shit. Those two guys, that brings that back. So like this, but Edwin Diaz is just throwing gas up there. He's punching tickets at an epic rate, punching out, I think, 2 guys per 9, something ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, crazy.
And two. I think it's like 17 guys per 9 innings, but he's punching out at least 2 guys he faces every night. But like I said, it's a show. It's its own show.
Yeah, it's great.
When you go to a Mets game, you're looking up like, please let there be a safe situation where Diaz can come out. We get the Timmy Trumpet going. He's doing it live the other night, and that's what you love, and that's what's great about baseball, because you're looking for stories like this. You're looking for the human interest stuff of communities and cities coming together, and Mets fans around the world coming together, and they're really coming together with this Timmy Trumpet.
Oh my God, it's so cool!
And freaking Edwin Diaz coming out.
Oh, I was running around my yard singing it, going boom, so good. Yeah. Now, speaking of another thing, underrated rivalry, because it doesn't always match up, but there's always these 3 or 4 year windows. Braves Mets rivalry right now is just, it's as good as it gets, and they're both playing so awesome. And of course now the Braves, Spencer Strider comes in 16 Ks in 8 innings.
Dude, this kid is a stud. Spencer Strider. If you don't know who he is, start watching the Braves games, because this kid's a stud with unbelievable stuff. He's got a little mustache going on out there too. It's classic. But dude, he punched out, set a Braves record. So Braves record. Think about Smoltz, Glavin, Maddox, all the great pitchers that have been in Atlanta, punches out 16 in 8 innings. You got to be kidding me, dude. Listen, that race is going to come down to the end, and I believe they play each other the last 3 games of the year.
Yes.
I think it's in Atlanta.
I think you're right.
And Mets Braves. So that race is so good.
Yeah.
And I think people are waiting for the Braves just to catch the Mets, but then the Mets go ahead and win the series against the Dodgers. Mets are good.
They're good.
Mets are really good, dude. Like, this is a good team. This isn't a team that's going to fade. This team comes for you every night. They come at you hard. They have a good, one of the best rotations. When DeGrom's healthy, he's the best pitcher on the planet, and that's the bottom line. And you got Scherzer, you got Walker, you got Bassett, other guys in that line, then that rotation. But the lineup top to bottom is good. I mean, and then they got Diaz in the back end of that pen. So it's going to be a fun race, bro.
Yeah.
Fun
I'm
race.
looking forward to it. Very excited.
Yeah.
Now, wait, by the way, have you ever been in a game where you've been dominated that badly? Where the guy
dude, I was thinking about, when I was looking at Strider, I was thinking, just thinking back to that Randy Johnson game 2001 where he set the National League record or Major League record with 20 punch outs. He punched out 20 of us. And, just watching that, when you watch a performance like that, you're like, that's incredible.
What'd you do? Did you start that game? Why would you even play?
Thank God it didn't start. Juan Castro started. I was in the dugout going, this is wonderful. Thank God it didn't start that.
Did you face him at all, like, towards the end of your career? Like, why even bother, right? That should be your day off. Like, hey,
dude, as a matter of fact, it's funny. I hit 333 off Randy Johnson. I was 5 for 15 off him. I hit him well.
Dude, did you ever get a hit off of his slider?
Yeah, I used to try and I'd give up the inside part of the plate. I kind of look for the slider out over the plate because it was still 92, 93, 6'11" coming off the mound. It was just a uncomfortable at bat, but my approach was know the slider's going to be middle away, and if it's a heater middle away, I could handle. But anything in from that was a heater was really, I used to just try to I'm not hitting that, so I'm going to give it to him and just try to work my way off the slider out over the plate. And I hit him pretty well.
That's
crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, so we go from one legend to another. It's been pretty cool these last week or so seeing this Serena Williams story going on at the U.S. Open. A couple of things about it. First of all, she battled back out of nowhere from her second round match the other night. But just, can you talk about the greats? Like, we're seeing it in baseball right now with, like, Pujols. Like,
right.
When it's not a marathon anymore, like, for her, you could tell, and they were, Mary Carrillo was on, and Chris Everett, who are, they're great, and McEnroe, those such good analysts, and they're talking about, like, it's not a marathon anymore. So, like, it's almost like she could overtrain for this event because she knows that's it, and knowing that it's not going to tire her out for her next match. Like, can you talk about what it was like, those last couple weeks or couple months of your career when you're like, you know what? I'm laying it all on the table because this is the last time I get to do my favorite thing I've ever done in my life. Like, what are the emotions going through Serena right now?
It's crazy when you're coming to the end because you know it. I remember when I was in Boston in 2008, I didn't tell anybody. I think I told, my wife at the time. She's the only one that really knew, and maybe a couple other people. But, no one on the team knew I was going to be done, but I did. And I think it was those last couple months. So grateful I was on a good team too in Boston, and how good we were because, you weren't showing up losing. But I remember taking it all in. Like I was so grateful to be at the park. The gratitude that hit me was phenomenal. It's like, don't know what you got till it's gone. And starting to have those feelings of, this is it, man. I've been doing this every day since I was 6 years old.
Yeah. It defined you. It defined your entire life. Yeah.
It's been my life. It's defined me as a person. It's incredible. Everything that I've done, and knowing it was coming to an end, you know what those expectations, you're just like, hey, screw it, man. I'm going to go out there and have some fun. I'm going to relax and enjoy this because I know this is it. Yeah. And I think when I look at Serena, I think that's where she's at. Like, hey, man, might as well leave it all on the table. I got kids now. I'm married. My career, it's been the greatest career in women's tennis history. Arguably, it's up there for the greatest career in tennis history. And I think she's just having a ton of fun. And I think that U.S. Open atmosphere is something that, like, for her, it's incredible. And I think she's just, I think sometimes when you can surrender the outcome, when you can just focus on, I'm just going to go enjoy myself, whatever happens, that's when you actually win.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting.
Crazy.
So so she was ranked in this event. Obviously, she's only played 6 events, I think, the entire year. And she's facing a girl in her early 20s who's number 2 in the world. And they're talking about Serena just had a child and she's 40. Like,
right.
And then she came out and just dominated the third set. It was just, that's like one of those all-timer things. That's like Jordan coming back and dropping 50,
Yeah.
With the,
dude, when I watched her beat her, I thought, like, she's like a Superman. She's like a superhero.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Absolutely.
Like, there's Serena Williams. She's just going to turn it on, turn it to another gear, and just start hitting bullets.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Some of her serves, every once in a while, she dropped like 113 miles an hour. It's like... averaging like
just
90.
had a kid. Just
Unbelievable.
Had a kid. Crazy.
All right, so one more element we got today. This is a little local. This is for the good people of Pennsylvania, right? What happened last night? And Sarah went. What's going on with big game?
Well, dude, this is a big one for the people of Pittsburgh and West Virginia. Really, not Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay, that's true.
This is the backyard brawl, bro. The Mountaineers versus Pitt, and it's so funny because they took it away like 11 years ago. It was like such a tradition. I don't know if it got out of hand. I don't know if
maybe
started to go a little, next level fights and all that stuff, too many beers and all that. But they finally brought the backyard brawl back last night. It was at Heinz Field, sold out.
Wow. Tons
of West Virginia. Yeah, Sarah's, went to West Virginia, so she's down there with her friends, a bunch of their friends, Todd and Kevin, Lori, all these people came in, and Adam, they all came in and just had a great time, like got together. But it was cool because it was a lot of like I said, West Virginia is only an hour from here, Morgantown.
Right.
And so, the backyard brawl. So it was really cool, man, really cool. And I drove down to pick her up. And there's also a ribs festival coming up this weekend, which I'm really passionate about. My dad and I used to go to it every year.
Nice.
And now it's down by Heinz Field, but some of the best people from the country come in.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Oh, bro, and they cook ribs, and it's unbelievable. So Sarah was walking out last night when I was picking her up. She's like, "Hey, there's a couple rib trucks here. You want me to grab?" I was like, "Yeah, give me a half rack of ribs, some pulled pork for the ride home." I was like, "That's the only reason I'm picking you up is for those ribs and pork."
Okay.
Then Pitt ended up winning 38-31 in the backyard brawl.
How big is where do they rank? Between the Steelers and the Pirates, Pitt football is pretty. It's just as big, right?
Well, yeah, and I think Kenny Pickett kind of brought them back these last few years. They were top 25. They're 17 going into this year. Pat Narduzzi, the head coach, people like him around here. But there's such a history of Pitt football. They won a national championship back in the day. Dan Marino leading the way was the best quarterback.
Dave Wanstead was a head coach.
Yeah, Dave Wanstead, head coach, Foge Fazio. There's so many
there's a lot of history
great coaches. It's a great tradition, and people would love to see around here Pitt football. Now we just got to get Pitt basketball back to where they used to be too.
Oh, there you go. That actually just reminded me of the craziest thing too. This was the greatest. When I was a senior in high school, we played our football games on Friday nights at Hofstra University, which is right here on Long Island.
Yeah.
And that's where, at the time, the Jets trained.
Wayne Corbett.
Dude, so this is like 96, whatever. This is when they got good again, and they got Jumbo Elliott and all those big, huge linemen, and Malmola, I forget his name, whatever. But the guys, so they would have curfew in the beginning of the season, whatever. So they would come, the Jets football team would come watch our football games on Friday nights because they had nothing else to do. So, we'd be in our locker room and Jumbo Elliott would walk in and be like, "Have a good game tonight, guys." And we were like, "The fucking Jets, the Jets are here." It was the craziest thing. That was my favorite high school football memory I ever had.
That's awesome, dude.
Right?
That's so
Isn't that
cool.
crazy?
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Anyway, all right. Well, we got
that wasn't when Gastineau was before that.
No, he was before that. He was Klecko, Gastineau, those are the 80s teams. They were really good. They just never broke it. That's what, dude, Gastineau was playing for the Jets when Lawrence Taylor was playing for the Giants, and they were both getting 20 sacks a year. That was some big-time New York football back then. Hasn't been the same in a while, though, I'll say that.
Those were the days. Yeah, I know. Those were the days.
Anyway, so we got all that. We have so much going on. We had Jamie Lissow. I don't know if you guys have heard that one yet. Hysterical comedian. He was great. Tim Wakefield, I'm sorry, was one of my favorite interviews we've done.
That was so good, dude.
So good. He taught us how to throw the knuckleball. So if you haven't watched or listened yet, he will literally physically shows us how to do the knuckleball. And the other story he tells about Joe Torre calling him. I forgot about that. We haven't talked about that. We got to send that clip out.
And the John Cena story when we got chopped.
Oh my God, the John Cena story where you guys got chopped. It's the greatest thing. And the picture. He has a picture of it. And so we got this today. And the other thing that we got going on is Tuesday coming up. Who do we have on?
Oh man, we got one of my favorite guests, a good friend of mine, Mark Megna, who I played at the University of Richmond with, was like the hardest working guy I've ever played with. Played in the NFL, played in the CFL. Also owns one of the greatest gyms down in called Anatomy down there in Miami. But just a wonderful dude. Unbelievable story. He's got a documentary out called "Just a Kid from Fall River." It's so good on Amazon Prime. So it's going to be a good. Tune in next week to Mark.
Handsome fella too for the ladies. Good one for our lady fans too, dude. Handsome,
good looking dude.
Handsome chap.
Handsome chap. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's it. We're gonna roll. We'll keep rolling. Oh, we haven't even talked. Oh my goodness! This upcoming Wednesday, we are going to run down the draft that you and the Big Lambuski had in your big league. Which
that's right.
It went on. Well, let's not even talk. Don't even say who your picks were yet.
I won't say.
Break the whole thing down. And Lambuski is literally running the streets in Pittsburgh right now, just headbutting things because he loves doing the show so much. It's so good,
dude. It's all he thinks about. It's all he thinks about.
Oh my god! I'm getting text messages. He writes like a diabolical doctor, and he sends me all these notes. I'm like, is this Sanskrit? Are you writing in Sanskrit, boo?
It's incredible. I'm like, dude, did you take cursive in college? What the hell's going on here?
Anyway, so we got that going. 3 days a week we're going right now. Who knows? Somebody pick us up. Maybe we'll do 5 days a week.
Exactly.
How's that? Start paying us. We'll do it.
We'll do it.
Yeah.
All right,
buddy.
Chinchy, I love you, brother.
Love you, bro. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah, everyone out there, have a great weekend. Let's go. Talk to you.